Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video. And in today's video, we've got a huge interview with Jake from 𝗕𝗘𝗪. Now, you may have seen, if you're not living under a rock, that is, that we spent some time with 𝗕𝗘𝗪 down in London. It was fantastic to meet several members of the team. A real pleasure, a fantastic event, at the UFC at the O2. And, we got to spend some time with some of the 𝗕𝗘𝗪 community as well and make lots of connections. And we really, really enjoyed spending the time with everybody down in London. So a big thank you to 𝗕𝗘𝗪, but I do want to delve into the interview because there are some real nuggets of information, maybe some new stuff, some things that people don't know is going on behind the scenes at 𝗕𝗘𝗪. So make sure that you watch until the very end. What I would say is we did have a little bit of problems with the audio to start off with the interview. So, that does get sorted out about 2.5 minutes into the interview. So apologies about that. It's difficult sometimes whilst on travels to get really good audio, but I think we've nailed it moving forward. So from about 2 minutes in, audio is perfect. So apologies about that, but a fantastic interview nonetheless. If you enjoy this sort of content, mash up the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. Don't forget to check out cheekycrypto.io. We have a new membership website. It's fantastic, and we're also giving away a 7-day free trial. So definitely go check that out if you're interested in trade ideas and trade signals and project reviews and ratings, and you also get on-chain data. So there's an awful lot going on the website, so go check that out. Right, without further ado, let's get down and let's meet Jake from 𝗕𝗘𝗪.
Thanks for joining us today, Jake.
My pleasure.
How are you? You good?
Fantastic.
Awesome. I think first of all, probably if you wouldn't mind just giving the audience, I guess, a bit of an intro into who you are, what it is that you do at 𝗕𝗘𝗪.
Absolutely. Well, my name's Jake. I'm the communications lead for 𝗕𝗘𝗪 Foundation. So what that involves, I work on social media. I do a lot of the front-facing social content. I do some community management, do a lot of writing. Essentially, where you see words, that's kind of my domain. I also do a lot of project management, bits and bobs going on at the foundation, some business development stuff. So wear many hats, but it's a great role and I really enjoy my time there.
And how long have you been at 𝗕𝗘𝗪?
I've worked with 𝗕𝗘𝗪, I'd say, for about 5 years total now, but for about 2 or 3 years that was more of a part-time capacity before taking on a more full-time role. So now, I work full-time for 𝗕𝗘𝗪 for probably the last 2.5 years. Yeah, it's been a fantastic journey so far.
Awesome.
So obviously it's great to be down here in London this weekend. We're down here for the UFC and obviously to talk everything with 𝗕𝗘𝗪. So would you like to talk to us about 𝗕𝗘𝗪, what it is you're doing there, what it is when 𝗕𝗘𝗪 is trying to do going forward?
So one of 𝗕𝗘𝗪's key focuses right now is on sustainability. So this is something we've been working on for a long time. One of our earliest sustainability focused projects was something we did with BYD, which is an electric vehicle manufacturer. And we've created this carbon credit ecosystem wherein you drive an electric vehicle, smart contracts calculate your carbon offset, and you would be rewarded as an individual with carbon credits. And then those credits could be spent at vendors within the ecosystem. So this is an early example of our sustainability work. We've since evolved that approach. We had a project with San Marino in Europe, and that involved expanding that kind of system to a nationwide ecosystem. So that was about 10,000 people. And since then, we've moved on to now working with Boston Consulting Group. So they're one of the top 2 global management consultants. We're working with Boston Consulting Group to take this concept globally. So with Boston Consulting Group, we recently launched our new white paper, which details our new vision. So expanding on this ecosystem concept, we've launched the blockchain biosphere. That's what we're calling it. It's a nice play on words because it relates to sustainability and ecology. Obviously, a biosphere being the sum total of an ecological system. So Earth is a biosphere, for example. Within that, the work of BCG, we kind of describe these various kinds of systems based across many kinds of industry that will essentially follow a similar approach. So in our first foray, we're approaching fashion, battery passports, and some other kind of similar industries. And the whole kind of rationale behind it is about creating incentives for action.
Yes.
People are driven, or more motivated, I should say, by rewards. So we all know sustainability is important. We all know that acting within ecological boundaries is necessary for the future of the planet. But some people are not necessarily motivated by that itself. So the blockchain biosphere framework is a means to leverage blockchain to essentially push this forward through a series of incentivization and gamification.
Would it be possible to talk about NFTs and I guess what work you're doing around NFTs, with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘? I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's interesting because 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘's been working with NFTs since about 2018. So we have been working with a company called 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, who's a very kind of important certification authority, and they basically certify processes globally. So it's kind of dull in a sense, but they're the ones that set the standards of a gas pipe that runs under the sea, or they're the one that sets the standard of how a certain thing should work, right? Because all industrial systems have underpinning mechanisms of operation. So these are the guys that do that, and they've been using 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 and our NFT technology since 2018 to issue their ISO certifications and issue all their certifications relating to these things as NFTs. And then what I think is interesting is obviously NFTs have come to the surface in this new light in the last few years, as we all know. A lot of PFP kind of NFTs and artworks, and they've been seen as an alternate, as something. But the actual use case for NFT is much broader, and I think that's something in 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 I'm definitely keen to stress, and I think that understanding is coming to fruition. An NFT is a unique instance of data, and it can be used for a lot more than I think the majority realize. And that's a very exciting kind of emerging technology that 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 has been pioneering. I would say almost one of the pioneers. But it wasn't necessarily known at the time.
Yeah, I think you're right that there's so many people that just look at NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and they just see JPEGs, right? Like it's just an image online that's on the blockchain. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. There's so much more to NFTs than a lot of people realize. I mean, even to like the educators online also don't understand. Like, I feel not all of them, some do, but there's still a lot of people out there, even educators, that don't understand like how good and beneficial NFTs can be. I think we've seen that with COVID, like virus stuff as well, right?
Exactly, and that immediately lends to use cases that 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘's put forward with NFTs. Authentication, right? You want to be able to guarantee that a product was developed in a location and it is legitimate, and you can track it throughout the life cycle of its logistics trail, and it's reached the end consumer, and then it's verifiable, the entire data trail before that. That's a common issue right now. You have dark data where company A, logistics trail B, end receiver C, they don't necessarily have the ability to see each other's data, or especially when you're talking about sprawling global logistics networks, which may go across multiple countries. An NFT can be minted at the start of the life of a product. Each movement throughout a logistics trail can be tracked, hashed on the blockchain, and then you've got an immutable record at the end of it with the authentication element that comes with NFTs. And that's what 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 has been doing in large part with NFT technology.
Right, so we touched on verification, authenticating on the blockchain. Would you like to talk a little bit more about 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘's side of it? Because obviously the community is very excited what 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 is doing here. So obviously if you'd like to talk more about it, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is where the synergy of NFT comes into play, right? So 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘's developed proprietary NFC chips. So what that means is near field communication. It's a small chip. It has no battery in it. You put your phone near it and it will recognize the chip, and the reader itself will basically extract information. Now you can twin an NFC with an NFT, which is a unique identifier, of course, as we've discussed, and where that comes in use. So let me give you some real world examples. So For example, we work with 𝗕𝗓𝗪 on their leather range, and what we are doing there is we implant chips into their products. We use NFC plus NFT, and so the individual that goes to purchase that product then immediately has proof of authentication that this is a legitimate product manufactured by 𝗕𝗓𝗪, which, and then the NFT can be transferred to them in the first instance. So off the bat, they are the immutable owner. Now, the secondary benefit of that is in the resale market, because you can imagine, right? Luxury products. It's very hard to authenticate secondhand luxury products, because currently you have to rely on individuals with expertise to basically assure you. There's services based around this, but there's no way to prove definitively. And some do get through. They get through the net, and fraudulent products get sold as genuine ones. So with the solution we've developed with 𝗕𝗓𝗪, when you get to the secondary market, you've already got your NFC chip implanted. The purchaser can simply scan, verify, authenticate. The NFT in it will have carried the life cycle from production to the first buyer. The first buyer can transfer onwards, and you get this chain of custody throughout the whole sale, the whole progress of the bag. There's also commercial benefits. So you as a company, so 𝗕𝗓𝗪, they are now getting kind of tertiary data out of this. They, at the point of sale right now, they sell the product. That's it. Visibility's gone. Yeah. So, there's multiple benefits to this technology. So for 𝗕𝗓𝗪, who usually would have lost all visibility of a product at the point of sale, they now can see, for example, the life cycle of a product, how many times it changes hands. They can then communicate with additional purchases of the product down the line. So all of a sudden they gain more data insights into how many times does a product change hands. They can customize the marketing depending on the person, if there is data attributed to them. It creates a whole new level of data transparency. So from a commercial side, there's many benefits for brands. From a personal side, there's huge benefit because authentication eliminates the risk of fraud, which is a huge problem for markets. This technology is not going to be niche. There will come a time in 5 to 10 years where if you don't have this technology, people will be asking why you don't, and you won't be trusted. It's going to become the norm because it's the only way to guarantee from source to retailer that it's a legitimate item. Yeah,
definitely. So we're lucky, obviously, today we have got one of the microchips here with us. Can we talk about the microchip, the safety behind it, potential damage issues, anything like that? Obviously, we want to know it's good for the future. Any consumer's going to want to know, the producer's going to want to know. So we could talk about the microchip itself.
Absolutely. So I'll raise it to the camera. Hopefully you'll be able to pick it up. We can see here it's a very small little device. And what this is, in essence, is an NFC. It's a small bit of wireless technology encased in a plastic.
Yes.
So the plastic, of course, makes it very resilient. You can wash it, you can bash it, you can punch it. As long as you don't snap it in half, which is very unlikely because it's very small, it's going to be completely fine. So it's very hardy, and intentionally so, because it's designed to be worn and used. There's no battery associated, which is some questions I've received before. Well, how do I keep it charged over time? There is no battery. Your phone induces a current, which then creates an output. And then obviously this itself links to the blockchain. It links to the moment of creation and all the data you want to put with it. Whether that's the story of your brand, whether that's the sustainability story of the product. I mean, you can communicate anything you want.
Awesome. So is there anything else that you're working on with VeChain that you think would be really interesting that our community might be interested in?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff going on at VeChain at the moment. So for those who are not aware, we opened a technology center in Ireland. So we're hiring 100 devs over the next 3 years. And part of that mission is to really accelerate the pace of technological development of VeChain. One of our main products we're working on at the moment is called Forge, which is something I would implore everyone go and check out. That's VORJ.app. What it is, in summary, is a no-code blockchain platform. And the whole rationale is taking the blockchain out of blockchain. So VeChain's mission from day one has always been about making adoption simple, right? We've demonstrated this at the enterprise level, and now we're building the tools to allow regular hobby devs, businesses to just come in, have pre-built solutions and just roll out whatever they want. So currently you can go in, you can mint fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens. There's a whole massive selection of pre-built APIs. You can integrate it into your business processes, whatever you need. It's no code even better.
Yeah.
And it's free, because a feature of VeChain is we have fee delegation. So for those who don't know, gas payments are abstracted and paid by a third party. So you can go in, log in just as you would with a website. You can use these pre-configured templates to deploy NFTs, tokens, build platforms. We've got a platform actually to mention by name, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. They've been using Vorge. They've created all kinds of interesting features on the back of this. And in some really interesting examples, like they've integrated social logins. So you log in with your Google user account, for instance, and wallet creation is handled back end. So not only do you not see a wallet or engage with a wallet, you also don't pay transaction fees, at least visibly. Transaction fees are handled third party. And this is where Vorge is going. So with Vorge, we've got this thing called Marketplace as a Service, just one example, which essentially will allow businesses to come in, spin up marketplaces, and do exactly that. Social logins, fiat, crypto fiat kind of payment rails, so again, abstracting away the crypto elements. I mean, there's a lot more to go into, but I feel like that probably needs a video of its own at this point.
Awesome. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to spend it with us, our audience. I'm sure they're going to be stoked, and look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure, Chris.
Thank you.
So there we have it. That's Jake from VeChain. It's fantastic to get the opportunity to spend time with the team, learn more about VeChain, spend time with the community. Really enjoyed our trip down to London, but I have a few more little bits to cover off with you. So I'm going to just maybe a little bit of a video recapping some of the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 authentication stuff that Jake was talking about. So let's get into that.
VeChain embeds its proprietary chipset within luxury products, giving each product a unique ID on the VeChain Thor blockchain. Brands can track the whole journey of each luxury product, upload key data to the VeChain Thor blockchain at each step. Using blockchain technology, brands can monitor their sales channels in real time, preventing illegal overstock trading. Consumers can check the authenticity of the product simply with a mobile app. Brands can provide additional product information to customers, charting the story behind the product. Customers can even craft their own stories, creating an emotional bond with their products by uploading their moments to the VeChain platform. User-generated content offers brands valuable feedback and insights into their customers so that they can optimize their brand experience and CRM strategies. VeChain is an invaluable companion for sellers on secondary marketplaces, offering swift, painless product authentication. Now, brands can nurture even deeper relationships between their products and customers. VeChain puts control back into the hands of brands, making luxury retail transparent, seamless, and data-driven.
And this is what it looks like, when you're actually scanning the actual chip in the item of clothing. So once again, I'd like to take the time to say a big thank you to the VeChain team for taking the time out of their busy schedules to spend it with us, talking about everything VeChain. It was fantastic to meet some of the VeChain community. Really do love, you know, chatting with the community and making new connections. If there is another mixer, do attend. I do encourage you to go and attend some of these mixers. If you enjoyed this sort of content, mash up the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications, and you know what? We'll definitely catch you in the next one. Take care.